All right, so as we end up 2022, we're going to be looking at a couple of things. One is kind of the growth of the metaverse itself. A lot of things happening in the NFT space as we've covered throughout the year. And today we wanted to really kind of give our thanks to what we think is the creator of the year when it comes to metaverse, NFTs, and blockchain, and really the future of where I think a lot of artists are going to be going. This particular creator is the one that I think everybody will agree, and that is Snoop Dogg. Today, we're going to break it down for you today. It's going to be fun. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to Metaverse Insider. Let's get into why we selected Snoop Dogg. I think he was an easy selection for us. But at the same time, when you look at just the litany of achievements that he did in 2022 and the way that he went about it, I think that in itself is probably the gangster move of all. And we'll break all of this stuff down, show you guys some clips. I think you're going to love it. Love to get your feedback on who you think are some great metaverse creators, some great artists. You don't necessarily have to be in the music scene, could be anything. Love to get your feedback. Drop some comments down below. Let's get into this first tweet here. And this was a tweet that really kind of set it up. This one right here, if it ain't winning, I'm losing. And this was Snoop Dogg talking about how he was going to take on 2022. Let me play the clip for you guys.
First, I told myself, I said, look here, self, I want to talk to you. And myself said, I'm listening. I said, look, for 2022, that's 20s and it's 22, I'm double time everything. So I'm treating every day like I got 48 hours in one day instead of 24 hours. You going by the minute, I'm going by the seconds.
You've been on top of the world for 40 years. I'm like, what is the thing that, like, when you
All
get
right,
up
so
in the
you can kind of
mornings, like,
see
why
his
are you
work
still working?
ethic is really one of the things that sets Snoop Dogg apart from, I think, most. Now, not to say that other creators don't have amazing work ethic, but when you look at an opportunity that sets in front of you, like metaverse and what's happening with NFTs, I think Snoop Dogg has realized that there is a next generation of not only technology, but how entertaining and also artistry will be conveyed to our fans. And that's going to be something I think that you'll get very good clarity here as we play out some of the clips here. Also, remember that he has not gone, this is more than just metaverse. There's also products involved in this. This, of course, is 19 Crimes. This is in the Living Wine labels. Let me kind of show you. He's doing
Already
a little
did,
bit of
but I'm going to do it
AR.
again.
Like, so, I mean, this is the kind of thing, guys, that is just really, in my
Glasses
opinion,
up. Let's
I
make a
love it.
toast to success and nothing less.
Even Snoop likes to cut in. But anyway, the point is now integration into products, understanding how technology is changing the game around that, and really where the future may be going around direct to consumer, all those kind of things that could play into artists in terms of their overall bag of opportunities that represent them. Remember, artists in the past were pretty much tied to and by their agents and the deals that those agents would strike. I think now what we've seen in terms of artists taking control of their own content, their own mission, and their own brand, it starts to change things up. And the metaverse really is a palette, I think, that sets it up for a big future. Here was him, of course, integrating in with Call of Duty. Again, plugging into what he's done with gaming, I think has probably been one of his gangster moves of 2022. When you look at all the things he's done, I would say gaming could be one of his long arching story arcs that literally Snoop could live for the next 100 years inside game. I don't want to really compare it to, say, Madden NFL, but you think about Madden NFL and what he was able to do for that side of just those types of games. I think Snoop might be in that pop culture area that he could really bridge the gap in terms of how games might integrate artists in the future. Here was a little bit from their podcast I thought was a really good clip that we pull out. Listen to what they had to say here.
Yep. I mean, Snoop, you talk about it all the time, right?
I mean, it's like a slave trade, you know. That's what it is. You know, most artists don't own their masters or their music or their publishing. So to find another option to be able to, be able to put music out and then have rights to it and own it and then have the engagement with the fans where they can actually own it too and you guys can, monetize together. That's a beautiful situation. That was one of the most appealing things about it with me when I brought Death Row as the first major label to the space was I could put artists on and put a record out, and we was watching the shit selling, and we was watching it make money. Then 30 days later, they had money in their wallet. And some of these artists had made records 20, 30 years ago that didn't know what to do with the records, but I put the records back up and they generated money because people wanted to hear this piece of art that we had that was unreleased music, or either just some great music from some hip hop artists that were connected to me.
You know, so what he's hitting at there is really the whole idea around distribution. And this is something that I think when you look at what Metaverse represents and also the business of distribution in general, this is a huge part of the next generation of entertainment. We've talked about it on the show all year long. It's why we commit this show to Metaverse gaming, NFTs, because we believe that this is going to change the future of business. All business, entertainment, I think, obviously will lead some of the way. Fashion will be a big part of this, gaming, the natural. But we're going to start to see other aspects of many, many other business entities and other verticals start to move into this space in a very big way. And the cool thing is you got Snoop Dogg as pretty much the guy, as really the guy to follow. And I think to look at what he's been able to achieve in a very, very short period of time. Think about this, just 1 year, really, when you think about the evolution. Here was Method Man and Snoop Dogg, of course, in their partnership on digital collectibles. Again, more movement in the space of NFTs and how this might flow. I think this is going to be another big area. In essence, I think his metaverse enterprise is going to consist of obviously gaming and music, NFTs, and integration around utility. And I'm really interested in to see how he plays into the metaverse with products, because I think that's one area that will be new for him. And with the right kind of team that he puts out there, and you kind of like you saw with his wine product, I think that might end up being another rock star opportunity. And if you think about that, just to remember, and I don't want to bring up other creators, but I'll just mention Logan Paul and what he was been able to do with his drink. And when you look at Prime and what they were able to do in a very short period of time, that most likely could be a $2 billion brand, which is going to be greater than anything he's ever done in the space. That's why I think when you get into retail with a pop culture icon like Snoop, it starts to put things out there in a different way, and it really starts to open up the opportunities for a lot of creators. Here we've got Snoop Dogg. Of course, it's time to crack open Snoop's stash box. This was when they essentially went on to the collection of building a whole structure around strategy, around trying to do airdrops and also engaging with fans. And this is something that is very unique, because one of the things that I think challenges NFTs and in general when you go out into the marketplace in the metaverse is being able to, one, build a community. Now, it's easy enough, I think, for a Snoop Dogg to build a community because he's got a tremendous fan base. But being able to maintain that community and foster in new growth in that community, that I think is the magic behind what NFTs, airdrops can be, all the different utility use cases of how these things may play into it. And it's also when they did their deal with Gala Music, and when I say they, Death Row Records, when they did their deal with Gala Music, it was, I think, really the first iconic element that started to set artists around the industry set back in their seat and go, wait a minute, this is actually happening now. And this was a clip from Gala Music's Sarah Buxton and Snoop and a handful of others. We had Ice Cube and October London in there, which was one of the new artists with Gala. Just full disclosure, Gala is a channel partner. They didn't ask us to put them in this. We basically compiled all of this on our own for this Creator of the Year video. So let me play this clip for you guys, though.
Music would be the exclusive place that Death Row lives in the metaverse. So you could put that out. Snoop Dogg said that. So if you ain't on Gala, you better hurry up and get in. And what we plan on doing is giving people access to buying and trading some of these classic songs, classic records that, was the foundation of Death Row. And along the lines, get some of these new records that, Mount Westmore got, these new records that October London got, that Jane Hancock got. So we just trying to flood the game with great music and not have no parameters, because in the traditional world, you can only drop on Tuesdays or Fridays. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Over here, we may want to drop a record on Sunday night. We may want to drop on Wednesday morning. And we could do what we want, do as we please. And we getting the engagement of the people that's letting us know what they want. And I just want to say, like, I would love to see, like, some Ice Cube movies over here, not just Mount Westmore, but like how he did Friday and shit like that. Like, give this community some great Cube vision and give them some great, things that they can live with, that they feel like that's theirs, because they made us who we are. The fans made us who we are, not these labels or these distributors or these companies, but the people who bought.
All right, so you can kind of see his down to earthness there, in the sense of he understands where the rubber meets the road, in the sense of who made Snoop's career, his fans, his base, his partners, a lot of the artists that are in the community that he's worked with over the years. And I think that's the thing, that Snoop does something that's quite a bit different. He kind of pays it forward and pays it backwards, in the sense of bringing another artist, really trying to create a unique community. And one thing that impresses me about Snoop is that his business acumen is absolutely top tier. And whether you're in business and you're watching this from, maybe you're a buttoned up business guy, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's all walks in business right now. And especially in the creator side, I feel like that creates a little different framework. And there's also different ideas and aspects that people that have a creative mindset bring to business, that in many cases, creates a completely different strategy around how to roll something out into a profitable mechanism or a profitable enterprise, which is where Snoop is today. A couple of tweets here we'll get into. This right here was, Snoop Dogg obviously tying into a lot more of the NFT components. This is Spider Tanks, where they're integrating into Gala. And you can kind of see there just some of the things that he's been able to do in the gaming side. Here's Snoop Dogg presenting Death Row Records. This was the pop-up, and this is kind of interesting because it starts to create that on-the-ground grassroots connection to your fan base, which is a big part, as you know, of entertainers. But I think this is going to start to play into possibly pop-up concerts, the opportunity for real-life entertainment connection to fan bases in different cities, possibly even chapters. There's so many things that could play into this that really plays into the future of where music is going in general. So again, another leader out there. Free mint for Snoop holders on Soundxyz. This is, again, just another music platform out there, and there's going to be a few more of these that hit it. And as you guys know, Gala Music is out there. They're getting ready to drop their beta. You got Soundxyz. You've got, of course, Audius, and many others that I think will start to make their way into the space. I think music, film, and gaming is really set for a complete revolution in the next decade. Now, the question will be, gaming is a tough one because it has such a tentacle hold on an existing base. Music and film is a little different because the fans don't necessarily react the same way, because they're engaged. So they could care less, I think, if Epic Records or XYZ label drops a particular album or a particular artist. I think they're after the artists themselves, and that to me is the open mic opportunity for what this means in the future. You got Astro Donuts here. This is again a new digital component with the Astro project, all tied into some of the things that Snoop is doing. And in this particular case, they were using Unreal Engine, tying in his brand, which I think also represents something that's very unique. And that is this whole aspect around brands, especially from the entertainment side, kind of moving to the next level. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I was mentioning Madden, and the ability for someone like a John Madden to have a lineage. And I think that's where Snoop is heading for sure. He's also creating a new way of experiencing music videos.
That's simply 2 layers of macking on you bitches like true players.
What I mean with my baby daddy?
Bitch, who cares? We came to make the party crack, no game.
All right, so a lot happening here with him being involved so much around the space. Let's go into some more. This was, of course, when we saw the VMAs. This, again, I think bridged the gap between what traditional performances were like and what maybe the next generation of metaverse and NFT aspects of performances could be like. So it really opened a lot of eyes, and I think that was another big... He's selling out all the drops he's doing in terms of NFTs. You've got a ton of NFTs integrating it now into comics. So you can kind of see his enterprise is really growing into a very, very not only is it profitable, but it's also very diverse. So that in itself, I think, is always a great strategy, especially when you have something that's as wide open as the internet and the metaverse. Let me get into this piece right here. This was where Funko was open the first retail experience. Let me play this quick clip for you guys.
Welcome to the Doghouse, January 2023. You dig? Snoop Dogg, Funko. We coming together for a collaboration, and let me tell you, it's off the shizzle for dizzle. Look at it. Check it out. Get a close-up. See some of this work right here. Got the classic album cover, got the vinyl, got the afro, got the dog. Funko and Snoop Dogg Doghouse coming to a hood near you. Early 2023.
So again, more
Welcome to
more
the
big
Doghouse.
partnerships, which I think again this also sets him apart in such a big way. Now remember, when artists get tied into their communities, typically they're trying to figure out a way to communicate with them. Snoop launched his Discord, but I don't think he was pleased with that because from that came this, and that was, of course, Schiller. And Schiller was essentially his own platform to be able to communicate with his fans. So he's now connecting tribes through video and audio broadcast, which I love. This is a little clip of it. Let me kind of showcase this of how it plays, but you can see the first teaser. All right, so a lot happening there. You can see that this has integration into MetaMask, obviously the side of where what we will see in the future around all content as we start to see more and more integration into crypto. Sandbox was, of course, I think one of his biggest opportunities, but also one of his biggest showcases. And this, of course, he's continued to build on throughout the year. So again, this just shows the diversity of what Snoop Dogg has been able to do in a really short period of time. Here's another clip right here showing a little bit of his music video.
How much is my Sandbox worth right now?
They're for sale.
Your sand token?
Yeah, what's
Just
my...
your token?
Yeah.
4.8,
What did it start off at?
$300,000.
So it's at 4.8 million?
Yeah.
Cash. Hey, yo, Hit Boy.
All right, so you can kind of see he's integrating pop culture into what's happening within the metaverse, but also in gaming side. And a lot more happened, I think, around Sandbox. You had Joe Rogan finding out about Sandbox for the first time from Tim.
So is
And this was
Snoop
fun.
making all that money? Like if it's $458,000 to be his neighbor, is that his money now?
No, it's just
No.
like when a celebrity moves into a building, people want to live in it.
Okay, good question now. So who gets that money? Where's that money?
The person who owned the land.
That's nonsense.
What do you mean?
It's nonsense.
How is it nonsense?
There's
They don't
no
get
land.
all of it though.
But there's
What do
no
you mean
land.
there's no land? There's
Where's the
a
land?
digital
So
land.
this little video is what it is. This is
Look
the
at this.
Sandbox. This is Snoop's land in the Sandbox.
But go back to that. What is this?
This is the Sandbox.
Hold on.
So I'll pause it real
Keep-
quick.
I love that. Hold on. This is when the light bulb starts to go off in Rogan's head going, what is going on here now? And the opportunities, I think, are going to start to really click for a lot of entertainers. And Joe Rogan, being a comedy maniac like he is, I think he's going to be one that kind of plays into that as well. Here's another piece right here. I want to play this clip. This is a good one. All right.
Ain't this a bitch?
So people trying to be my neighbors right now. They trying to move next to my community, but I'm trying to put a neighborhood watch together because I don't need no ignorant shit around me in my neighborhood.
Now, last question: how often are you checking in on your metaverse? It's like a
I'm the
daily
landlord.
thing.
I'm the landlord. You know, they break bread or fake dead. I'm gonna give you them numbers. When I give you the numbers, kid, let me give you the numbers on the low.
You a goddamn. Hey, well, let me tell you something about Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart just got himself a metaverse too. Yeah, y'all gonna get to see what my world is going in and what's going down, man. Break bread or get dead, unless you want to be fed. Come in. That's my.
All right, so you kind of see the joke there. Obviously, is just Snoop's enterprise and how successful it has been. He goes into this video a little bit deeper on exactly how much he is making. Let's see.
Future of Death Row.
Wow, great question. Well, we started off in the Metaverse. We did about 40 million in the Metaverse. Now we plan to go around the universe. I want to do Death Row India, Death Row Africa, Death Row Asia, Death Row
Tokyo?
everything.
I just like how that
I want to
was
go
said.
global. I want to take it global. Global because you got.
All right, so you can get that the point of just what he's done with Death Row Records, but also the opportunities here, I think, with all the other brands and labels and opportunities that are really going to start to leverage in. Remember, this year was a little bit of the licking your wounds year of Metaverse NFTs. We saw the slide of the market, the downturn, and I feel like right now it has started to separate a lot of the really great players. And the ones who stick around, the ones who are going to hang into this market, whether you're on NFTs, gaming, music, film, doesn't matter. The key is that this is going to be the future of how technology is translated into entertainment. Entertainment is then consumed by the next generation of fans out there. So this is a big opportunity, guys. I think we're going to see more and more from Snoop Dogg. I'm going to play a couple last clips here before we get cut out, but this is really a good example right here. This is Nike recognized the company as pretty much the highest grossing NFT sales right now, 185 million. This, of course, has been close to $1 billion in overall digital sales for them around aspects of what's happening in Metaverse. And you can see Dolce & Gabbana right there, Tiffany, Gucci, Adidas, Budweiser, etc. I mean, Snoop would, if he's on this list, he'd be number 2 right now. That's how big this creator is. That's how much he is affected, not only what's happened within Metaverse, but I think what has happened in the mindsets of creators. And that is probably the most important takeaway of today's video, is to understand kind of the future. We're going to let it roll out with Snoop Dogg saying something I think you guys are going to love. Let me just go full screen on this, and you guys have a happy holiday.
So this Metaverse NFT space is so new. I want to be able to provide some of my homies that don't want to kill no more the opportunity to try to be businessmen.
Yeah, thank you, Snoop.
Thank you, Lord.